Well, hello everyone. You have right here a talk about typical greeting cards, right? And talking about for unknown, you are my only sunshine right here. And I'll show everybody right here is that this right here is supposed to be a painting right here. I'll talk about for mom and daughter right here. Talk about for a greeting card, and I know the way I painted this, I painted it like just like if it was cousins along with cousins and then their daughters and all that, but still but you see this right here of talking about when we do speak about unknown right here. Unknown, you are my only sunshine. So you see this right here that I include right here of talking about whenever it comes to speaking, right? And in a lot of ways it sure seems that way to where that whenever you do speaking a lot of times, and you want to know too, and you want to know too is to where that the way this greeting card is worded right here, I'll talk about, you are my only sunshine right here. And you're 102, that really, what does that mean? What does that mean whenever parents, mom and dad, if they're going to be singing to their children, especially singing them to sleep, or anything else that you're going to be doing, and 102, what does that usually mean whenever they start singing that, you are my only sunshine right here? And I know that a lot of moms might even say too that you sing to your children, so that way, so that way, if you're going to be, especially if your kid has been sick for a couple of days or something like that, and like a lot of parents might even say too that that's just a way of how to keep the children, kind of how to keep them calm if there's anything. Anything about, anything that you're going to be, doing for your children and all that, maybe fixing them breakfast or maybe making them dinner or something like that, or maybe anything else that you're going to be working on especially. And so that's why it seems like that is to where most moms might even say too that, that's usually what they do is to where just to be able to support their children and keep them calm if there's anything in particular that you're going to be talking about and working on and all that, right? So it's like, so whenever you do sing, you are my only sunshine right here, and a lot of times you're 102, what exactly does that mean when we talk about you are my only sunshine? And so does that pretty much mean as to where that you are the special child, or could that also mean as to where that, the mom is actually singing to their child so that way while they're recovering from after being sick or something like that, maybe from a stomach flu or maybe from a head cold or something like that. And I know a lot of parents might even say too that you sing to your children mainly because of the fact that if they've been sick for a couple of days or something like that, or maybe if you come into the room around the middle of the night and then you're going to write onto a greeting card or something like that saying that, you are my only sunshine right here. So if you see this right here, talking about, you are my only sunshine right here. And you begin to wonder that to where, that whenever it comes to, you are my only sunshine right here. And really that, do most moms think about that is to where that, we're just trying to be extra, sweet and special to you or something like that, or like everybody might say that, really, that is there anything, in particular meaning to it? And a lot of times it's like, everybody might even say too that whenever you're going to be, especially if you're going to be talking about the dreams that you had or something like that, or something that you can actually visualize a moment in time to where the conversations that you would like to have with your daughter or something like that. And so really that each time you do think about that and you're 102, that you see unknown right here along with you are my only sunshine right here. So it seems like to me that if this right here was presented onto an actual greeting card for sure, then somebody would maybe ask as to where that really, what is that really supposed to mean if it has any sorts of meaning, though? And a lot of parents would even say is to where that is it really supposed to be, for unknown or something like that, but still. So every time you do think about that in your 102, that the parents are the parents trying to say anything in particular to their children, just to let them know something important, or could it also mean is toward that you are my sunshine or something like that? And so yeah, if you grew up in a family with about maybe 4 other sisters or somebody like that in 102, that what does it mean when of your parents sing "You Are My Only Sunshine" to you? And a lot of times that could that also mean as to where that those parents are just thinking about you. They're thinking about you and thinking as to where you are my only sunshine right here. And so really, I'm like, do you think that a lot of parents might even say too that the way that they word it on a greeting card is that they would put like, you are my only, and then that sunshine or something like that. Maybe put a comma right there or something like that, and have that highlighted or something like that. And so that right there, yeah, more like, and I know we probably heard that before, that's actually be a song title, by the way. But it's like but each time you do think about that in your 102, that do you think that the mom is trying to tell the child something, or does that mean that they're just singing that just to be able to keep them calm and energetic or something like that? So it sure seems that way, that each time you do think about that, you're thinking about unknown right here, to where that we all know what unknown pretty much means, right? And a lot of times it goes by the question to where that I don't think anybody really knows the actual answer to that, but still that but you'll want to know too that if they were to produce a greeting card, like let's just say if there's going to be a mom that's going to write a greeting card for somebody, for their child, and 102 is to where if they were to include like maybe a message on there saying something like, you are my only sunshine, and you see this right here that they have it written down, and let's just say that this right here was supposed to be in like a typical handwriting. So like everybody might say that whenever you do think about that, moments in time to where that you got right here, my only sunshine right here, and it's like right up above, and then you would write something right up here on above. You're saying something like, I would like to tell you something special or something like that. And so really that every time you do think about that in your 102, that is there really supposed to be any source of meaning to where that you are my only sunshine, or if that's really supposed to be just the title of the song or something like that. But still, it's like a lot of parents might say that you look at that painting right there, and it's going to remind me of you. And so everybody might say that that kind of goes by the next question, actually, to where that almost anything that you're going to be listening to or maybe reading about, and like everybody might say that for sure that if you're going to be reading a story, maybe a children's book or some kind, and at 102 that every time I read the story or anything maybe in the baby products or something like that, maybe shampoo products, or maybe if it's any sorts of makeup products or something like that, it's maybe going to remind you of your son and daughter, and knowing about the things that you used to do and all that. And so really, that in case if anybody's wondering to where that anything that you're going to be looking through any photographs, or maybe if it's working on any sorts of paintings, it's maybe going to remind you of your son and daughter right here. And so that's why it seems that way, to where that you are my only sunshine right here. And that is why it seems like to where that you write unknown right, but still you are my only sunshine. So it's like, so every time you think about that, you're 102 that if you were to highlight my right here, just put my, highlight my, and then if you want to change it up just a little bit right there, And 102 is to where the hey, that you got my right here. If I can, do that right here, I'm like, yeah. Go ahead and change it. Let me see here if I can scroll through this right here. Or, yeah, the character list right here. Yeah, my right here. I'll go ahead and highlight. But anyway, yeah, so it's like every time you do think about that in your 102, if you were to change it just like that right there, you are my only sunshine. Just the way how it's worded right there. And if you were to actually look at a greeting card just like that, and at your 102, that, that right there does not look like just, as an M, as a my. It looks like to me that, so every time you look at these sorts of word and language right here, and you may 102, that, why is it? I'm like, yeah, you go ahead and spell it, and then you say it, and then you want to go ahead and write a song about it, or like any sorts of story. Like everybody might say that, you were working on this, you were working on a story, you were reading a story, talking about something, working on something one night, and you got tired enough to where you fell asleep or something like that, and so it's like, yeah. So everybody might say that, yeah, you are my only sunshine right here. So a lot of parents might even say that, you would sing something like that to your children if they've been sick for a couple of days or something like that, or maybe I'm like, yeah, you just to kind of treat them nice and special or some kind. But I really don't even know if it really even means that you are the only child, or you are one of my favorite daughters or something like that. But still, that I think everybody might even say that that whenever you do think about that in your 102, that just how it's worded right here, and everybody might say that I really don't even think about it too much of the time about that if you put a certain character right there. If you actually put a certain character right there in writing, and 102, that hey, that besides if you're trying to spell it though, that the way that it was written, and I think everybody might even say too that the way it was written, that is it really supposed to say, interact with two or three different things here? And every time you do think about that in your 102, that if you were to actually read that to somebody and saying that you are my only sunshine, but you have right here, if we can see this right here, that you have only right here, but then you have bigger, like, yeah, just the way how it's written and how it's printed right here. But every time you look at this right here, and it's like, yeah, the way that that's read right here, it's almost like if you're reading the song lyrics right here, right? So every time you think about that in your 102, that yeah, you would read that as like if it's actually the song lyrics right there. But is it really supposed to mean anything, or is it really supposed to say anything of some sort? And so that's why it seems that way, to where talk about for sunshine right here. And everybody might say that, yeah, well, every time you think about that in your 102, that really that so every time you think about that in your warrant, to where, yeah, sunshine right here. You see if I can get an example right there. But sunshine. I'm like, I really don't even know if we can all read that right there. But still, that each time you think about that in 102, that if your parents, or if your mom and dad, or whoever, are going to be singing to you while you're resting, and a lot of times, what does that usually mean right there? Like, yeah, you are my only sunshine right there. And so it's like, yeah, so every time you think about that, then you're 102, that, we heard that song lyrics before, but it's like, you're thinking as toward, okay, yeah, unknown right there, if there's any sorts of meaning like that right there. But whenever you look real closely at this picture, like at this painting right here in 102, that, you're warned toward that, that right there was supposed to be an actual, painting right there of mother and daughter right there. And at 102, that, yeah, you look real closely at that and thinking as toward, okay, yeah, that if you would actually look real closely at that in 102, what exactly is it that's telling you? And but still, at the same time, it's like, whenever you do think about that, my only sunshine right there, and you are my only sunshine. And whenever you look at that, and you're 102, that do you think that maybe your mom is actually, trying to tell you something as to where that, something like, yeah, you are my only sunshine, or this, a gift, yeah, and I think maybe in some ways that parents are kind of trying to say that is to where that, yeah, that whenever it comes to understanding about gifts, right, and you want to know too that whenever it comes to gifts and everything, that that mom and dad would even say too that mom and dad would say that what they're trying to say is that gift for me, gift for me right here. So it's almost like the mom is, the mom is basically saying right here is that, you are one of my special gifts right here. So it's almost like that, whenever you do hear something like that, to where you are my only sunshine right here, and parents maybe could maybe say that whenever it comes to gifts, whenever it comes to gifts and all that, whenever we are talking about gifts, by the way, that we're also talking about the fact that that whenever it comes to whenever the mom had a child, she had a child, and let's just say if she had four daughters, and let's just say that what she was trying to say is that there was one girl, and maybe one, I'm like, yeah, the bigger sister, and maybe the younger the middle the middle child, and then you also had maybe the third child or something like that. So every time you think about that, you're 102, that really, how are you supposed to put all these children all in order, knowing about that if you're trying to produce a greeting card for all four daughters, and let's just say that all those four daughters right there, or probably say is toward, that maybe if you're trying to remember how old they are, but still, you are my only sunshine right here. So it's like every time you think about that, and you're 102, that if it doesn't really mean anything, or on average, is toward, a gift for me right here is toward, I had all four daughters right here, and what the moms basically are trying to tell you is toward, that knowing about how much I love you and all that. And so really, do you think that maybe anybody might even say that you would produce a greeting card saying something like that, just because of the fact that if you work every day, or maybe if you have a lot going on for being a full-time parent, that you would take the time to produce a greeting card, something like this right here, to where that you would put on that greeting card that you are my only sunshine right here. And so it's like, so it's almost like that everybody might say that, why do you think a greeting card would be that important to be able to spread the word to where that if you're really thankful for having you had four daughters, and let's just say that you took the time and opportunity to write this on a greeting card, but it was printed on a greeting card. You were not able to tell the daughter, unless if you actually wrote a letter, and so that's why it seems like as to where that whenever you do mention about unknown right here, and so what do you think that would necessarily mean if it was an actual greeting card right here? And a lot of parents might even say is to where that I was not able to explain everything, so that's why that just to kind of make something a little bit more reasonable, that I put a background right here. I put a background right here, and I include right here is a word of saying is to where you are my only sunshine right here, and so that's why I'm like, most song lyrics, by the way, you go by you are my only sunshine right there, but still, it's like every time you think about that, and you're warned to where that unknown right here, and so it's like, so why do you think that there any purpose at all to where why do you think if we all know what unknown pretty much means right here, it means is to where that there's no answers. There are no answers to those questions right there, and so it sure seems that way. That do you think that maybe the daughter should maybe explain a little bit more? I'm like, there are no answers right here, and so it's like, no answers, and but still, it's like, but don't you think that maybe in case if anybody's wanting to know too, that you could maybe put like an abbreviation right there for like unknown or something like that, but still that and for answers right there, but still that but if you were to actually put something like sweet talking or something like that, so every time you think about that, you want to know too that really that could we possibly remember the first word? I'm like, in case if anybody's want to know too, that, sweet answers right here. I know it. Everybody say that, you're trying to put all these memos together right here, and I'm going to say so that way somebody can read it right there, but still. But I'm just saying that, that every time you do think about unknown right here, and you're always 102, that, what do you think that the mom is trying to say right here? And let's just say that all this writing right here, and let's just say that if you were to actually give somebody a greeting card right here, and let's just say that the only thing that you really read on that greeting card is my only, or something like that, you are, and then, so that's why it seems like that, to where that, every time you do think about that, then you're always 102, that, is it really a good idea to go ahead and put something going on in the background to where somebody's able to recognize what's actually going on? And like everybody might say that, you may feel like you only have maybe 2 minutes to write a quick memo or somewhere like that, like right down here, and you're always 102, that, you feel like that maybe you only have maybe 2 minutes to write a message, to allow somebody to look at later on or something like that. So it's like, so that's the first thing that's maybe going to come to my mind for sure, is that, that if you're trying to write a letter to somebody, it seems like to where that the first thing that you do see right here is, later, I'll explain later or something like that. So that's why it seems that way, to where that, the first thing that you're thinking about, especially if it's going to be 8 o'clock in the morning. If it's going to be 8 o'clock in the morning, I'll explain later or something like that. And maybe that's why that people might say that, you go ahead and write something down on a sticky note. So that way, somebody will be able to read it. And so it sure seems that way, that every time you do think about that, by the way, and you're warned to where that, why do you think that that every time you do think about that, and you're 102, that you look at that right there, and at 102, that the first thing that you're going to maybe thinking about is like, yeah, I'll explain later, but yeah, you are my only sunshine right here. So every time you think about that, and you're 102, that hey, that what is that really supposed to mean right there? What is all that? What is that supposed to mean right there? And especially how it's worded right here. And people might say, yeah, if you were to write my right here, my right there, if you were to write my right there, and let's just say that if you took the time, if you took the about maybe 5 minutes to go ahead and just write a certain way, it's like, and yeah, my only sunshine right there, and everybody might say that, yeah, I know what it says right there, but really, is it really supposed to say anything in particular? Like, and you are my only sunshine or something like that. So yeah, it's something to think about, but in case if anybody's 102, that, do you really think that you would really want to take the time to put maybe a few flowers or a bouquet around on the M or something like that for M and Y for my or something like that, and so everybody might say that almost every time you look at your handwriting, though, just the way that it was worded right there, and everybody might say that that's supposed to be your voice right there. That's supposed to be provided on that writing right there. And why do you think that anybody would say that only maybe 3 words right there, especially the way it's written? It's supposed to be is that really supposed to be passing the message off to somebody else, or is it really supposed to be telling like, yeah, is it supposed to provide any sort of clue of some kind, saying that the children, the daughter wasn't feeling very good at that night, so she she wrote a message on a greeting card saying that you are my only sunshine or something like that, and so that's why it seems that way, to where that every time you do think about something like that, and thinking is that why do you think whenever you say unknown right here, that the first thing that you said earlier was later, right? And so everybody might say that why do you think that maybe anybody would maybe take the extra 2 minutes to go ahead and write on there, like saying something like, my or them or something like that. So every time you think about professional writing, though, and U102, that if you take 2 minutes to write in anything in particular, it says my only sunshine. I know that's a like, yeah, it's supposed to be a song, but in case if anybody's 102, that is it really supposed to speak for, is it really supposed to say anything in particular? And but I was always 102, that the times that I've heard it, and everybody might say that the times that you've heard it before, you are my only sunshine. It seems like, to where it's basically what it's saying is, to where that the child has been sick for a couple of days or something like that, so they need time to recover or something like that, and so it sure seems that way. That I'm like, yeah, I can go ahead and put on here that right on here that to recover, from if the kid has been sick for a couple of days or something like that, sick, trying to recover. So yeah, so every time you think about that, you're 102, that that's the reason why Mom was singing to the child from earlier, was because of the fact that the child had been sick for a couple of days or something, and so that's why the parent was singing to them and saying this to her, just to kind of keep them calm. If it's nursery rhymes or something like that, but still, it's like every time you do think about that, and you're always 102, that if somebody asks you a question, it's like the first thing that you're going to tell them is, hey, I don't really know, I don't know, or something like that. But still, that But what if you did have to tell them something such as, oh, it's a long story short or something like that, but still. So if you ask the question, if you ask anybody a question for sure, right? It's like if you do ask somebody a question right here and at 102, that the response that you got a lot of times look just like this right here. It's a message floating right up above the image right here. So in case if anybody's 102, that yeah, does that really help out a lot? You knowing about the fact about what do you think that they're going to think if they do read that message that you left from earlier in 102? That okay, are they really going to agree, or are they really going to understand what you're trying to say right there? So that's why it seems that way, to where that every time you do think about that, by the way, and you're always 102, that you want to respond in a source of a question of the matter, to where that something to make it easier for that other person to understand, for sure, right? So that's why it seems like almost all the time, whenever you think about that, you are my only sunshine right here. Yeah. So I think in a lot of ways, everybody might say that you would maybe be singing that mainly because to be able to help the children go to sleep a lot of times, and I think a lot of parents might even say too that they sing that to their children to help them just to be able to allow them to keep them calm and to help them fall asleep and all that, but still that do you think that has any sorts of meaning? But they might even, a lot of parents might even say that they sing that to their children mainly because of the fact that for knowing about that growing up with three other sisters, and 102 that did you like if you were to name all three or four sisters, all three or four daughters at 102, who was your favorite, and if it was the middle child or something like that, or if it was your first child or something. But almost every time you do think about that in year 102, that why do you think that would need to be explained on a greeting card? And if it did, for any source of a logo design of any kind, and you're always 102 you are my only sunshine right there. And so it's like, if there's been a child that's been sick, maybe for a couple of days, and they're going to say that, if it makes you feel better, to go ahead and say that you are my only sunshine or something like that. And but on the other hand, that sweet and special of any kind. But on the other hand, that it's like you're 102, that is it really like the parents? The parents are trying to tell the kids something, and a lot of times it's like sugar or something like that. I really don't know, everybody, that sugar or something like that, and I really don't know, everybody, but but let's just say that on average that if you were called sugar at some point, I'm like, oh yeah. So it's like every time you do think about that is to where that like a greeting. If you're going to be talking to somebody, even on Snapchat or some any social media site like that, and 102 that you would actually maybe say something like, you are my only sunshine, and maybe include like maybe a logo, or maybe in fact, like a little sticker or something like that. But still, it's like, so every time you do think about that, you're always 102 that, what does all that even mean, by the way? And the mom is maybe going to say is toward that, look at this, just like, I'm like, yeah, look at this background picture right here, all that, the way it was all put together right here. And let's just say that if it's supposed to be designed like, if it's supposed to be like a stamp of some kind. So I really don't know, everybody, but if the parents were to use this right here as like a way of how they stamp, I'm like, it's like a stamp right here, to where that, if the parents got a lot going on at that morning, for sure, they're going to maybe say that, hey, that, you want to look at this like a stamp right here. You want to look at it just like a stamp right there. You got right there the background with one of my favorite photographs of mother and daughter right here, and you include that right there as like a stamp, and then you include right here as like maybe like a memo of some kind, and saying this to her, yeah, I couldn't really think of anything else, really to write on, so that's why that I'm like, yeah. So really, that just to kind of make the long story short of any kind, but I think a lot of parents would say that yeah, you were singing to the children mainly so that we can keep them calm and to help them fall asleep and all that, but still, at the same time, that people might say that yeah, I think that the conversation can actually start just by saying this to her that I actually was dreaming about that. I was dreaming that we went on a vacation and that you start singing, you are my only sunshine, yeah, you start singing in your sleep or something like that, you start singing, you were dreaming about, doing this or something like that. And, I mean, I really don't know, everybody, that if there's a greeting card out there that's designed to where that, you were dreaming about something, but, yeah, only you were able to read and understand, what you were dreaming about until you actually start talking about it to somebody else. And everybody might say that, yeah, that, you are my only sunshine, sugar, or something like that. And so really, that it all started just by saying this to her that, after you've been sick for a couple of days, and then this is how you were able to recover, and you start talking about stuff. And people might say that, honestly, I really don't even know what you're talking about until you look at the details, right? But still, at the same time, it's like, yeah, I don't think anybody's really going to know what you're talking about until they look at that, like they realize later on, or whichever, but still, that at the same time, that, if you were to explain to somebody, the story of the matter, you go ahead and just, like, and yeah, your gift for me, since I've been sick, recovering for these past couple of days, this is what I was working on right here. And so that's why it seems that way to where that, you are my only sunshine right here. So it's like, yeah, you take the extra time to go ahead and write that, and like you talk about for unknown right there. Unknown, that pretty much means as to where that, nobody really knows the reasons why, but they can maybe understand just a little bit just because you had a conversation talking about that. And so every time you do think about that, you want to know too that, back whenever you were a kid, by the way, that, you turn the radio on and you start listening to music and you hear the broadcaster talking about stuff, and it's like, you want to know too, you hear about these songs on the radio, right? And you're worried to where, yeah, there's a telephone number that they ask you to write down, by the way. There's a telephone number or a website that they ask you to go to, and you didn't quite understand that during the time. Or a text, they ask you to text your response to this number or something like that. But still, it's like, yeah, my only sunshine right there. So every time you do think about that, is like, yeah, that, so every time you do think about that, you always want to know too that, really, what is that? Is that really supposed to tell you anything? Is that really, like, yeah, in case if anybody's wanting to know too, that, do words really are they really supposed to speak to them, to themselves and all that, or something like that? Like, yeah, is it really supposed to tell, speak? And, I can just use tell, but, still. Every time you do think about that, you always want to know too that whenever you do read any words of any kind in 102, you are my only sunshine. Is that really supposed to tell anybody anything in particular, or is it really supposed to mean as to where that, yeah, you are my only sunshine, and if you were to actually be singing it to somebody, you're like, yeah, like kind of like a lullaby or something like that, and but still. So every time you think about that in your 102, that the times that you've heard that song and that you're 102, that am I the only one? Am I really your only sunshine, or is that just something that you were just singing just because yeah, you've been sick for quite a while, and this is supposed to, make you smile or something like that. And so each time you do think about that, and you're 102, that you my only sunshine right there, and everybody might say that, I think in a lot of ways, in a lot of ways, it's supposed to mean is to where that the mom is supposed, the mom is trying to show how much she's supporting the child and how much she cares, right? And I really and I really do think that that's really what it's supposed to mean right there. Is that if you're gonna be the only sunshine, like, and support. It's supposed to, it's supposed to show support right there, but then support, for care, knowing that you care, right? Support and caring, and so that's why it seems that way to where that, every time you do think about that, in your 102, that you didn't quite you didn't quite know during the time, and you didn't quite understand during that time, and so that's why it seems that way to where that you look at these greeting cards and maybe anything else that you're going to be working on for sure, right? And you're 102, that you start a conversation with somebody, and 102, that you put a background right there. And let's just say if you display a background right there of, mother and daughter right here, and then you put wordings right here, and people may say that, you are my only sunshine right here. So really, I mean, that pretty much means that it shows support and caring right here, right? So every time, if in case if anybody's going to maybe be 102, that, I've heard that song before, but I really don't even know really what it means. But in case if anybody's 102, that it very much means is toward that the mom is singing to their children, just to keep them calm, and of course anything that you're going to be talking about, right? And but still, it's like another way of how do you want to call us, for unknown of talking about is that that if you're going to be talking to anybody about anything in particular, that you go ahead and give a reasonable answer about something, and you always want to know too that even though if you could have been wrong about the situation, even though if you are going to be right about the situation, though, that you always want to know too that don't most doctors could they possibly even say too that you have conversations with somebody a lot of times, and you're always want to know too that just because that there is no answer, yet to something, and you're always 102. That you have these conversations a lot of times, but really, do you remember having those conversations? And I think most doctors might even say too that that don't you think that one of the most important topics about the whole situation would be is to where that you remember. That you remembered, and so every time you do think about that, you're 102. That don't you think that maybe a lot of doctors might even say too that don't you think that the main topic right here would be is toward even though if it is, even if it is maybe 5 or 10 years later, that you remember hearing this song right here, and they were playing it on the radio a couple of times. And you actually mentioned about it as to where you remember, because that it's been about a couple years or so, but still that you always want to know too that why is it really why is it that you start remembering things even though if they happened years ago, and everybody might even say is to where that those memories do start coming back, just because of the fact that, is it because of the fact that, from what you remembered, and, anything that you were working hard on, from previously, and, so that's why it seems that way to where that, so every time you read this right here in 102, that, if you just, take it slow at times, and you are my only sunshine right here. And that's why a lot of parents might even say too that the doctors might say that hey, what does that usually mean if you do whenever you do remember? You remember a lot of things that you. I'm like, yeah, you remember a lot of things. From a recent dream that you had, you remember a lot of things that you talked about from earlier. And that's why it seems that way to where that every time you do think about it, and you're always want to know too that you didn't realize it during the time. Yeah, you didn't realize it during the time, but you are my only sunshine right here. So the parents basically saying this to where that I remember very well whenever you were only 4, or maybe whenever you were 5. That this is what we did together, and of course the things that you talked about, and so it's like, yeah, so every time you do think about that, and you're always 102 that every time you look at that greeting card, and maybe every time you think about a conversation that you had or anything that you're working on, for sure, and you're always 102 that it comes in time to where that maybe you're trying to remember everything, for sure. But you may not want to remember those times whenever you were sick, right? And a lot of parents might even say too that their children that probably don't really want to remember those times whenever they were sick. Everybody might say that if you've been sick and trying to recover from being sick and all that, and a lot of times, I know a lot of parents might even say that their son and daughter probably don't want to be reminded of during a time whenever they were homesick, trying to recover from dealing with from the flu, or maybe if it was from any other sorts of illness that they did have, and so that's why that typical greeting card. The typical greeting card pretty much means is to where that you're slowly recovering, from being sick, and so I know, in case if anybody may want to know too, that you come up to these times to where that you're too embarrassed really to talk about something, but at the same time that you might say that you'll get from me right here, but still, you are my only sunshine right here, and really, what is that really supposed to tell anybody? And is it supposed to show support and caring right here? But in case if anybody's want to know too, that yeah, anybody who has had that type of experience for sure would even say too that a lot of things that you don't remember during the time. Yeah, a lot of things that you didn't remember or realize during the time, and so that's why it seems like that's why they were checking that out. That's why that they were reading about that. That's why that they were looking at some of that stuff, and so that's why it seems that way to where that yeah, you are my only sunshine right here. And I think a lot of parents might even say that if you were to actually read that very slowly, then it would maybe give them an idea of what they would like to do for their children. And so it's like, yeah, you are my only sunshine right here. And so like, yeah, really, what is that supposed to tell anybody? And in case if anybody's wondering to where that yeah, you are my only sunshine. So if that right there was supposed to be maybe for any sorts of advertisement or some kind like that, like everybody might say that, yeah, if the mom had to give a child their medicine, if it's their medicine or maybe Tylenol or something like that, and 102 that really, what is all this wording really right here supposed to tell anybody? And you are my only sunshine, and a lot of parents would say is toward are they basically saying is toward a gift for me, gift from me to you or something like that, a gift from me or something like that, but I really think in a lot of ways, parents would even say too that I really, whenever you look back at all those memories growing up and all that, and you would probably think as to where that you would actually you try to remember a lot of that stuff, a lot of those good memories. You try to remember all of those good memories. Even whenever the times whenever you were sick, whenever you were trying to recover, and that's why that they say that the times whenever you don't want to remember something, at the times that you don't want to be reminded about something, but still, it's like every time you do think about that, then you're 102. Whenever you do write a letter of some kind, and they'll tell you as to where to, really, are you just writing a memo to remind, in case if anybody's 102? Some people do write memos to themselves to remind them, just to be able to do something, take care of something later on or something like that. But still, with this right here is talking about the type of bond, for mother and daughter right here. A friend of yours, maybe if you're babysitting or something like that, and you would have that. But still, really, what is that supposed to tell you? And it's supposed to tell you that support and caring right there. But anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, and sweetheart right there. And I don't know. Like everybody might say, if you want to go ahead and include that right there, I can say tell sweetheart, tell sweetheart right there. Yeah, I know it. A lot of nurses do that, by the way. I'm like, yeah, a lot of them. Even though if you don't really know, if you don't really know the children very well, and it's like, you would see something like that right there. Okay, okay, tell sweetheart or something like that. Yeah, okay. Okay, tell sweetheart. Yeah, I know it. I've seen it before, but I'm at the time, you always want to know too that whenever you're real polite, to somebody, like say, yeah, you may not even know you may not even know them very well. You may not even know them, but let's just say that if you were to mention to somebody, okay, tell sweetheart, yeah. In case if anybody's wondering that, yeah. So if that right there was supposed to be a greeting card for sure, what part do you think that you need to read first? So far as no answers, sweetheart, or something like. But still, it's like, so in case if anybody's wondering too, that whenever you do look at that, by the way, that you want to know too, that that right there looks a little bit maybe like a conversation. In case if anybody's wondering too. You have these moments in time to where you got mom and daughter right here, maybe cousin and daughter or somebody like that, or maybe aunt and daughter right here. You got them in the background, but then you have these text and writing right here in the front. And 102 that, I think I do know what all this means right here, but still, it's like every time you think about that, and you're 102 that, I can read it, but I don't even know why it's all painted all over the front of the picture right there or something like that. But still, okay, yeah, tell sweetheart, that you are my only sunshine or something like that. So, so in a lot of ways, that whenever you do think about a greeting card, and that you're always 102, that really, what's it for? Okay, who's it from or something like that, and so that's why it seems that way to where that even though if you don't really know the situation very well, that it's like, why do you think anybody would take the extra time to write something nice and special or something like that, even on a greeting card, especially if you're going to be singing to the child. If you're going to be singing to the children, and if you say that you are my only sunshine right here. But let's just say if you were to sing to them, telling them that, okay, sweetheart, let me show how much I care, or something like that. Okay, sweetheart, or something like that. And, okay, sweetheart, do you remember this? Okay, sweetheart, let's get you well, or something like that. And, so every time you do think about that, and you always want to know too, you sing to your children a lot of times, and, they might even say this to where that I don't know why, but if you just really just want to be extra kind and sweet, and so like everybody might say that, do you really have to explain, the things that you do, especially if a few of them are the nice things, do you really have to explain to that person why you did that? And a lot of times, everybody else would say is to show the support and caring. But do you think that maybe it could be, another word for it, such as to where that, yeah, like I usually say is to where I want to show you how I, why and how I did that, or something like that. But so yeah, so every time you do think about that, by the way, it's like, you're always want to know too, is to where that, you are, my only, and they might say that, well, I'm like, yeah, does that really mean that you are my only, or does that mean is to where that's, that the main you are the main focus that I'm really thinking about right now. And a lot of times, I think that's really what parents are thinking about most of the time. Yeah, parents, every time you hear that song is to where that you are the most important thing, that matters to me right now, then compare, I'm like, yeah, so the most important thing. And so I just really think in a lot of ways that, that song title, that they'll probably say that, yeah, you are my only sunshine. And so it's like, yeah, what's who do you think about most of the time? If it's maybe if it's the youngest, or if it's the oldest, or the one who's been sick for quite a while, or something like that. But anyway, but I thought I'd go ahead and talk about that stuff right there, and want to know too, but for how it's worded right here. Talk about for you are, and talk about for unknown. But I think in a lot of ways too that everybody might say that whenever you do think about unknown right there with an answer, with the question right there, and 102, what sorts of reasonable answers do you have to give? Now, they'll probably say that, yeah, well, in a lot of ways that whenever you think about unknown, though, that, not everybody's going to agree with the answer. And I think in a lot of ways that I think everybody might even say, based on my experience, by the way, everybody, that agree, Do you think everybody's going to agree to that answer, by the way? Yeah, agree. Are you going to agree to that answer right there? And so that's why it seems that way, to where that, whenever you do think about that, by the way, in your 102, that, okay, do you agree to that answer right there? And, but still, do you think that everybody's really going to agree to that? Or if they're just going to say that, actually, if you somebody asks you a question, and let's just say that, are they going to maybe say, or are they going to say, I don't know, or are you going to maybe say as to where that, well, I tried, but, support and caring, or something like that. So it's like, yeah, so every time you do think about that, by the way, that you're maybe going to say is to where that, okay, okay, is this supposed to tell anybody anything in particular? My only sunshine right there. Like, and, do you agree to that answer, or something like that? But still. But in a lot of ways, like, people might even say, too, that, if somebody asks you a question that you don't know the answer to, then for sure, are you going to give support and give caring, or like everybody might say, is to where you go and just start a conversation a lot of times? And a lot of times it seems like, yeah, that's most of the time that's the case, is that you just start a conversation, and, yeah, I'll even tell everybody, you dream about having conversations with about something that really never happened, but on the other hand, that it's like, yeah, you start talking to somebody about something, and it's like, yeah, you start to talking about something, and you're thinking as to where, yeah, well, are you going to respond to that, such as, I don't know, or are you just going to go ahead and give some good recent advice and say as to where, yeah, being my only sunshine, right? But anyway, let me know what you think, all right? Okay, tell the sweetheart right there. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, and talking about my only sunshine right here. But anyway, knowing about for what you remembered, right? From what you remembered is like, yeah, anything that you do remember, and want to know too that anything that you learned about that, right? Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.